So I make roughly $30,000 per month selling stock options. But guess what I don't do? I'm not selling covered calls. I'm not selling cash secured puts. I'm not doing spreads. I'm not day trading. I'm not swing trading. I'm doing none of that garbage. So I've been investing for over a decade. And what I'm going to tell you in this video is the correct way to sell stock options to generate consistent cash flow in a bull market, in a bear market, on any company. It simply doesn't matter. So we're going to dive into my $1.2 million account. I'm going to show you trades that I have open right now. And I'm also going to show you, if I were to open new trades, the exact step-by-step process of what I would do. You're going to understand this 100% crystal clear after this video right here. So before we dive into my account, we need to go high level of how this strategy works overall. It might not make sense starting out, but trust me, once you get to the end of the video, we're going to go through these examples step by step in real time. It's going to click for you like, wow, I have been selling options wrong my entire life. I'm not trying to clickbait you to watch this video. Just trust me on this. You're probably doing it wrong if you do cash secured puts, cover calls, spreads, whatever you're doing. It's probably not the right way to do it. Okay, high level, this is what I do. When I'm bullish on a company, I will of course buy the shares. We're all bullish, we like to buy shares. Why wouldn't you do that? But with options, what do? I like to sell put options, but I do them portfolio secured, not cash secured. Because think about it. If you're bullish on a company, why with one hand do you want to sell the put and be bullish, but with your other hand, you're like, I don't know what I want to do. I want to have all this cash sitting here doing nothing. Why not sell the put, secure it with the shares of the company that you're bullish on, or really anything that you want to secure it with, and you're capitalizing on that upside going up. So just think about it. Sell the put, portfolio secured, take the cash flow, buy the shares of the company that you're bullish on. On top of that, take the cash flow from the sold put and maybe buy some call options. And on top of this, you are not collecting anything in margin interest. You're using your base portfolio as collateral. So it's kind of like getting a free home equity line of credit on your home. You're just using your base portfolio as collateral. And again, if you're bullish, why would you want a major pile of cash sitting there? You wouldn't want to do that. That simply makes no sense. So if you do all this in the right way, you have your ratios in check, and you pick the right companies at the right price, I'm going to teach you that in this video, you're going to be fine. You're never going to have to risk, oh my God, I'm going to take assignment. How am I going to do this if I don't have the cash sitting there? Trust me, all of these questions are going to be answered by the end of the video, because I've taught this to so many people. Literally thousands of people have been taught my system, and they're just like, wow, starting out I was so skeptical, but now once I understand it and it clicks for me, it's just like, why wasn't I doing this my whole life? And it's really no surprise, like most people don't end up scaling into the 7-figure range, and I'm not sitting here bragging saying like I'm great, but I've scaled this account to 7 figures, and this is only one of my brokerage accounts. So what we're going to do right now, I think this is the best time to dive into my brokerage account. I'm going to show you an example of a trade that I have open right now, and we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to show you the flow of how to do this in real time. We're going to go into the trade tab right here. We could do it in real time. We'll make a trade together so that you understand this entire system step by step. I want to make sure you get this because it's going to transform your life. Trust me. So what I do is I use my shares of Triple Q, VOO, and the list of individual companies that I buy as collateral to sell puts on something when I'm very, very compelled to do it. Like Meta, for example. I sold almost 2.5-year put options when I did this, going all the way out until 2028. I sold Meta puts at a $560 strike price. You're going to be like, what the heck? You're selling portfolio secured puts and you're doing this so far long in duration. Like, why are you doing that stuff? Trust me, you have to stick around so I could explain this to you so that you understand the why behind it. So I sold these Meta puts, 5 contracts. When I did that, I collected $46,000 in premium. 46K got immediately credited to the cash balance in my account. What did I do with that credit? Look one step below it right here. I took some of that money and I bought calls on Meta going all the way out until 2028. I bought 2 of them, $600 strike price calls, and I paid $29,000 for that. So I collected 46K. Then I turned around and bought calls on Meta because remember, I'm bullish on Meta. Why would I not be bullish on Meta and not want to buy calls? I would want to do that. So I sold the put, took the cash flow, bought the calls. But there is a little bit of leftover cash flow from this. So what did I do? I simply just bought more shares of VOO and Triple Q. I'm essentially going to get free shares. So here's how this is likely to go down. We have a 5-year chart of Meta. Let me just flip it to a 1-year chart. It'll be a little bit easier to see. So Meta had this drop right here. They reported earnings and everybody was freaking out like, oh man, they're going to spend so much extra money on capital expenditures. The stock got beat up 21%. The fundamentals are good. The valuation's good. Everything looks good on Meta, simply except people are just worried about the company. So when everybody was freaking out, I sold puts on Meta. I took the cash flow and I bought call options on Meta. And I took some of the cash flow and I bought shares of Triple Q, which is the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. So I got into Meta at a good price when everybody was freaking out. Everybody was buying puts because they're like, Meta's just going to keep going down, down, down and never recover. Like the typical retail investor sees Meta stock going like that. So what this sold put is technically requiring me to do. What am I on the hook for to do? I'm required to buy 500 shares of Meta because 5 contracts times 100 shares per contract. 500 shares of Meta at $560 a share anytime between right now and 1/21 of 2028. But think about that. My break even is not $560 per share because take a look right here. I received $93 per share in premium. That's how we got $46,000 right here. Because if I would have done 10 contracts, this would say $93,000 right here. So I did 5, so it's just half. So I received $93 per share in premium. So my technical break even is $467 per share. Think about it. $467 per share. Let me go to a 5-year chart to figure out where $467 per share is on Meta. I'll just draw you a horizontal line. 467, somewhere around here, is where I'm going to be able to buy Meta shares for. And you might be like, well, Brandon, the shares could fall. Like, let's look at how much they would actually have to fall from right now. They would have to fall 38% to where my break even's at. That is where I break even. That is not where I technically lose money. But here's what you have to understand. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but just roll with me on this really quick because this is a critical thing to understand. Meta's earnings per share is extremely likely to continue to grow over the course of the next 2 years. On top of that, the valuation level that Meta is trading at right now, and when I did the trade, I feel like it's very, very cheap fundamentally. So I not only have the earnings per share growth going up and to the right with time, but I have the stock also reverting back to the valuation level that it should be trading at. On top of that, everybody was panicking to buy puts down here. I was selling them those puts for top dollar. Everybody wanted the puts. I sold them to them for top dollar. So I sold the puts, bought some calls, and then I bought some shares of the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. Now here's what's likely to happen. Meta is likely to continue to grow year after year after year. Yes, there's going to be a lot of volatility along the way. But if you mean to tell me that you think Meta stock is not going to be compelling at $468 per share, which is what my break even's at, like you mean to tell me you do not want to take assignment of those shares at $467 per share in 2028 when they're going to probably be worth way more than that? I want to take assignment of those shares. That's why people that do spreads, I'm just like, I don't want to buy the put under my sold put because if I'm selling the put, I'm bullish. Why would I want to buy a put to have the right to sell my shares when they're cheap? I want to buy the shares when they're cheap. Okay, so on top of that, a lot of people are going to be like, well, Brandon, you went all the way out to 2028. You're going to tie up your buying power for 2 years. This is a waste of time. Let's think about this really quick. Let's just say for simple numbers, this is a 24-month contract, okay? 24-month contract. I literally opened up this trade 1 month ago. But in 1 month, do you notice how I'm up 23% on this sold put right here? So it's not a linear thing because when you understand that the sentiment right here, people were freaking out and they were panicking. They're like, I think Meta's going to go down. They're spending way too much on CapEx. Zuckerberg's out of control. People are paying top dollar for puts. So as the stock starts to rebound, the sold puts go down in value, which is what you want. And on top of that, the sentiment flips. Nobody wants puts anymore. I sold them for $46K, but now the market value is only $35,975. So if I wanted to close out of this trade right now and realize profits, I sold it for $46K. They're currently worth $35,000, so that is roughly $11,000 in profit right now. On top of that, I'm probably going to let this ride for a little bit. I want to get closer to like 75% profit. So here's what I'll do. When that gets closer to 75% profit, this will maybe be worth, I don't know, a few $1,000s. I'll just sell some shares of Triple Q, VOO, or whatever I want to sell to get out of the contract. But then what I'm going to be left with is these leap call options that go all the way till 2028. So I essentially got free leaps that are likely to make a lot of money. I'm up $8,400 on them right now. And on top of that, I have these shares of Triple Q and VOO that I bought. I do sometimes buy the shares of the company that I'm selling puts on, but in this example, I just simply bought shares of Triple Q and the S&P 500. So most people don't realize that when the trade ends, when I sell these portfolio secured puts, it doesn't technically end because I'm usually left with something. Like many of these shares that I have in my account, I sold puts when the company was cheap, portfolio secured, paid nothing in margin interest, and I have those shares that I could ride with pretty much forever. So maybe these leap call options will be worth, I don't know, we'll just say $50,000 to $100,000 in a couple years. I'll make good money on that. Call it $70,000 I'll make there. On top of that, the shares that I bought of the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, there's like, we'll just call it almost $20,000 left over that I bought over here. What are those shares going to be worth in 10 years? Like 10 years of compounding at roughly 10% per year is what the market average is. That's going to be worth $40,000, $50,000 maybe. So that's why doing longer duration contracts is so much easier, because you could generate big premium when the company is cheap. And on top of that, you have the tailwind of earnings per share growth going up and to the right. When you do shorter duration contracts, you do not have that tailwind at your back. All right, so as I promised in the beginning of the video, let's go through an example setup step by step of exactly how to do this in your portfolio right now. So we're going to make one single assumption. We're just going to say that I already have shares of VOO or the S&P 500 or whatever I'm going to secure this with. So we're going to go to the Schwab all-in-one trade ticket. We're going to go to Meta, for example, META. There it is. What am I going to do? Let's set it up. We can see my buying power right here. Do I have enough buying power? Let's take a peek. I have day trade buying power, whatever. $2 million. Great. Plenty of money to do whatever I want to do. All right. So we have Meta right here. What are we going to do? We are going to do a put for an option strategy. How are we going to sell the put? We're going to go right here. We're going to go to sell to open because we're selling the put contract to open the trade. And let's say that we're going to sell 10 put contracts on Meta right now. Okay. Ticker's right here. Let's go to the expiration date. Let's say that we're going to sell the 2028 put on Meta. The current share price of Meta is $661 per share. If I think the company is cheap right now, I will be happy to buy it in 2028 for $660 per share. But I always want to build a little bit more margin of safety. So I'm going to go lower than what the current strike price is. I'm going to go lower than what the current share price is. Sorry. So I'm going to go closer to $600 per share. So let's look at this. If I sell this put right here, I am technically going to collect $87,000 in premium right now in my account that I could go do whatever I want with it. I could go withdraw it and go blow it. I could withdraw it and go buy whatever car I want to buy. I could go buy a vacation. Or if you're smart, you just take that cash flow and you reinvest it in the company that you're bullish on. If I'm bullish on Meta, why not sell puts on Meta, take this cash flow, maybe buy $50,000 worth of shares, and then spend a little bit on buying some call options and put a little bit in the S&P and the NASDAQ just to build the base portfolio. It's a little bit more conservative to do that. That's exactly what I would do. And on top of that, 2 years to grow the revenue, 2 years to grow the earnings per share, 2 years for the stock to go back to the valuation level that it should be trading at. Think about that. That's a lot of time right there. So $600 strike price, I'm going to execute roughly on the mid. So I'm going to collect $88,000 total, like I said, and my break even is going to be $600 minus $88 per share. So roughly, do the math for me, $512 per share, roughly. Good. If I go to review order, it would literally let me do it, but it's not going to go through because the market's closed right now, so you can't do options after hours. But it would let me do the trade if I wanted to do it. So that is exactly what I would do. Now, we'll say that that trade is done. We're going to go back to it, and we're going to go to Meta again. How would I buy the call option? Well, we're going to go to here. We're going to go to call. Action, we're going to buy to open. And let's just say that, let me get the expiration date right first so we could get the quantity right. Meta is currently $661 per share. I usually like to buy call options just a little bit out of the money. So let's just say that I'm going to buy 5 call options going all the way out to 2028, $670 per share. I probably wouldn't do 5 because I don't want to eat up all my premium. I would probably do somewhere around 2, to be completely honest with you. I'm very convicted in Meta, but if the timing happens to be a little bit wrong on a call option, I don't want to lose all that premium. So I want to buy shares because shares don't have an expiration date. They last forever. So I'd basically send this through right here, buy $31,000 worth of shares, submit it, good, done. And then again, what would I do? I would take this, I would go to buy, and we're just going to buy shares of Meta straight up. So we just play with it until it comes out to the right number. We'll just say it's like 40 shares or something like that, 50 shares to, get the total premium reinvested back into it. That's exactly how I would set this stuff up. So the thing that you guys really have to understand is this. Like when you are selling, 2 issues that most people do actually. Number 1, when you're selling cash secured puts, you have your cash sitting there doing nothing. So you're saying you're bullish to sell the put, but you're not bullish enough to take the cash and invest it. That makes no sense to me. I always want to reinvest it. Number 2, when you're doing shorter duration contracts, you have no time for the earnings per share to grow. You have no time for this undervalued company to revert back to where the mean line of earnings per share growth is at, to revert to where the actual profits are at on the company. If you don't know how to do that line, by the way, I'm going to link a video at the end that will help you out a lot. But one more thing that I have to say here before we wrap this up. We got to talk about risk management because so many people are going to be like, Brandon, what happens if you sell puts and the market keeps going down and you have to take assignment of everything? Here's what I do. And this is something that I have for Discord members. It's just a little, Google sheet that I have that shows you what my current sold put assignment value is. Let me walk you through how this works. So I have a little stock sheet here for Discord people, bull bear scale, assignment value. This is the one that we want to look at. There's other tabs on the bottom too, but I'm just going to show you this right here. Stock sheet 2.0. So right now, as of 12/18 of 2025, and this doesn't matter when you're watching this video, but my current sold put assignment value is 36% of $1.9 million. So what that means is this. If every single put that I sell goes in the money and I'm forced to buy every single share, number one, I would be happy to do that because I'm bullish on the company. And if 2 years down the road, the company is below the strike price, dude, give me all those shares. Like it's going to be heavily discounted. So I'll be happy to take those shares. But if I have to take assignment of every single sold put that I have right now, I would have to come up with $702,000. Now, don't click off yet. Let me explain what this means because you're going to be like, Brandon, like, oh my God, that's crazy. No, it's not. I am basing this on a 7-day liquidity of $1.9 million that I have right now. So if you like force me to say, like, hold a gun to your head and say, Brandon, how much money can you generate in cash in the next 7 days if you had to do it? I could come up with roughly, we'll just say $2 million. $2 million, and a lot of that is invested in my base portfolio. So again, what this means is if I have a $2 million base portfolio and it fell 50%, remember those S&P shares, the NASDAQ shares, whatever. If the base portfolio fell 50%, the $2 million would be roughly $1 million, but I'm only on the hook to buy $702,000. So even if the stock market crashes 50%, I'm still going to be fine. It's very unlikely it's going to crash 50%, but it is likely we are going to get a lot of volatility. So again, longer duration contracts win. My ratios are always in check. You can see right here, max assignment value in a cheap market is higher because if the market's cheap, it's less risky. It's more likely the market's going to rebound and go back up. But max assignment value in a lofty market, 0 to 50%. Our ratios are always in check. So I'm right here in the middle of this ratio range right here, 36%. That's where I'm at. I feel like it's fair. I feel like every single company that I sold puts on, I would be happy to buy the shares. I would be happy to buy them 2 years down the road when the profits are going to be higher. Give me those shares. Okay. I know we might have covered a lot right here, but let me wrap this up into 1 minute of exactly what I do. Build your base portfolio, S&P 500, NASDAQ, individual companies that are good companies with a moat, with pricing power at a good valuation level. When you're bullish, very bullish, sell portfolio secured puts on a company that you love. Good moat, pricing power, the whole bit, good valuation level. Take the cash flow from those sold puts. Buy shares of the company that you're bullish on. Maybe buy a little bit of call options on a company that you're bullish on too. With all longer durations here, like 1 or 2 year expiration dates, because it's just so much easier to keep reproducing this stuff. When you do that and you're patient and you let the companies grow and you let them get back to where the actual valuation level is fair, where they should be trading at, you're likely to do very fine. So I've been doing this for over a decade, and I can literally count on one hand how many times I've been assigned. And when I did get assigned, it was actually funny because I was assigned like $400,000 worth of Triple Q shares in 2022, I believe. And the second I took assignment of the shares, I just started to sell covered calls and then like the wheel strategy to get rid of the shares. So I not only made money selling the put, but I made money selling the call on a tail end to get rid of them. And I sold the shares for a higher strike price than when I got assigned when I sold the put, when I sold the covered call, if that makes sense. So this strategy works. And if you have anything to say bad about it, go drop your comments below. I would be happy to read every single comment because I'm here to make money. But this strategy has been done for over a decade. It's been working for me. I've scaled to a few $1,000,000. It simply works. It's risk averse. It's easy to reproduce. You don't have to be a genius to do it. So if you want to watch a really good video that goes a little bit more into the fundamental side, how to draw that earnings per share growth line where if the stock is below it, it's undervalued and it could be compelling to do this, watch this video right up here. It's going to help you out a lot. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.